Marcus chose my sister again, and this time I'm going to let him destroy himself. The words echo in my mind, a silent vow against the backdrop of what should have been my happiness. I stand, frozen, near the back of the open-air venue, the gentle breeze doing nothing to cool the rage simmering beneath my skin. There, by the altar, bathed in the soft glow of fairy lights, is Marcus, my fiancé. And he's kissing my sister, Sophia. She's wearing my wedding dress, the one I spent months picking out, the one I dreamed of walking down the aisle in. The scent of white lilies, thousands of them, clogs the air. It's supposed to be romantic, pure. Now, it's the smell of betrayal, so potent it's nauseating. It's the same scent that filled the church years ago, or a lifetime ago, depending on how you look at it. Because this isn't the first time this has happened. This is my second chance, my second life. And damn it, history is repeating itself with a sickening precision. In my first life, this exact moment shattered me. I ran, I cried, I confronted them, my voice raw with pain and disbelief. That confrontation led to a fight, then to me speeding away in my car, tears blurring my vision. It led to the screech of tires, the blinding headlights, and then nothing. I died after discovering their first betrayal, after realizing they'd already bled me dry and were planning their happy future on the ruins of my life. But this time, I'm not that naive, heartbroken girl. My hands tremble, not just from shock, but from a surge of something else. Power. The universe, in its twisted way, has handed me a do-over. I know their playbook. I know their greed, their selfishness, their weaknesses. And this time, I'm not the victim. I'm the puppeteer. The old Maya would have screamed. She would have made a scene, demanded answers, cried until her eyes were swollen shut. But the new Maya, she's eerily calm. Instead of marching over there, I reach up and slowly, deliberately, remove my engagement ring. The diamond, a symbol of Marcus's supposed love, feels cold and heavy in my palm. I slip it into the small clutch I'm carrying. Then, I turn and walk away, unnoticed by the loving couple lost in their treacherous embrace. No tears, no hysterics, just a chilling resolve. As I walk towards the exit, a small, cruel smile plays on my lips. Marcus thinks he's so smart. He thinks his investment firm, the one I helped build, is his golden ticket. He has no idea. I know where the bodies are buried, financially speaking. I know about the carefully hidden accounts, the slightly less than legal shortcuts he's taken to appear more successful than he is. Information that, in the right hands, or perhaps with the right nudge, will bring his entire empire crashing down. He's a house of cards, and I'm about to become the gust of wind. He wants my sister. He wants my wedding. Fine. He can have it all. I'm not going to stop them. In fact, I'm going to help them. I'll give them exactly what they think they want. I'll even tie the pretty little bow on top. Because the higher they fly on stolen dreams, the more spectacular their fall will be. And this time, I'll be there to watch them burn. Let the games begin. My previous life. It feels like a story I read, not one I lived and died in. I was Maya Lin, a financial analyst with a knack for numbers and a blind spot for the people I loved. Marcus Thorne, with his charming smile and ambitious dreams, swept me off my feet. I didn't just fall in love, I invested in him, literally. His investment firm, Thorne Capital, was built on my strategies, my late nights, my unwavering belief in him. I was the silent partner, the brains behind the curtain, content to let him be the face. Then came Sophia, my younger sister, always a little spoiled, always wanting what wasn't hers. It started subtly, a lingering touch, a shared joke I wasn't privy to. I dismissed it as sisterly affection for her future brother-in-law. How wrong I was. Sophia, ever the drama queen, manufactured a crisis. Debts she couldn't pay, tears that flowed too easily, and then the oldest trick in the book, a fake pregnancy. Marcus, ever the hero, or perhaps just ever the opportunist, fell for it, or pretended to. She needs me, Maya, he'd said, his eyes full of false sincerity. She's family. We have to help her. And I, like the generous fool I was, agreed. I dipped into my inheritance, the money my parents left me, the nest egg I'd sworn to protect. I even signed over a larger portion of my shares in Thorn Capital to him, believing it would give him the leverage to sort things out for Sophia. It was supposed to be a loan, a temporary fix. It was, in fact, the beginning of my end. The car crash. That's the part that replays in my mind like a scratched record. The scent of lilies from the wedding bouquet I'd been looking at pictures of. Then, the acrid smell of burnt rubber, the shattering glass, the metallic taste of blood in my mouth. It's a sensation I can still conjure, a ghost on my tongue. I'd just left a meeting with my lawyer, a sickening knot in my stomach. He'd confirmed my worst fears. Marcus and Sophia hadn't just betrayed me emotionally, they'd systematically bankrupted me. Thorn Capital was a shell, my inheritance gone, my accounts drained. They were planning to elope, leaving me with nothing but debt and a broken heart. The last thing I saw before the darkness claimed me was a flash of Sophia's triumphant smirk from a photo on Marcus's phone, which had slid onto the dashboard during the impact. Even as my life ebbed away, pinned in the wreckage, a different kind of fire ignited within me. Revenge. It was a desperate, futile thought then. Little did I know, it would become my resurrection's purpose. Because you see, even dying, I'd had a sliver of foresight, or perhaps just ingrained caution from years in finance. I'd always kept backup files, encrypted, hidden, detailing every shady deal, every illegal transaction Marcus had orchestrated, my insurance policy. I just never thought I'd be cashing it in from beyond the grave, or rather from before it. Then, a gasp. I sat bolt upright in bed, clutching my chest. The familiar floral wallpaper of my old apartment. Sunlight streamed through the window. My phone on the nightstand showed the date. 3 months. 3 months before the wedding day that never was. 3 months before Sophia's supposed pregnancy. Before the financial ruin. Before the crash. I was back. With every memory, every piece of knowledge, every searing pain intact. The universe hadn't just given me a second chance at life. It had given me a chance to rewrite the ending. And this time, the tragedy wouldn't be mine. The old Maya would have confronted Marcus immediately, armed with future knowledge, demanding explanations. But I'm not her anymore. My new strategy is one of subtle precision, of quiet manipulation. I need to protect my assets, first and foremost, and then I need to push Marcus and Sophia together, let them self-destruct on their own predictable path. It's surprisingly easy to play the loving fiancé. Marcus isn't the most observant man, especially when his ego is being stroked. I find myself almost gagging on the saccharine sweetness I project. "You're working so hard, my love." I coo, tracing patterns on his arm. The scratchy wool of his favorite sweater feels like sandpaper against my skin, a constant reminder of his deceit. He laps it up, preening under my feigned admiration. "Sophia called today," I mentioned casually one evening, as we're curled up on the sofa, a scene of domestic bliss that makes my stomach churn. "She sounded so lonely, Marcus. Ever since her last breakup, she just seems a bit lost." I plant the seed, watering it with false concern. "Maybe you could take her out for lunch sometime. Cheer her up. You're always so good at that." He looks at me, a flicker of something surprise, interest, in his eyes. "You think so? I mean, if you think it's okay." "Of course, darling," I say, my smile perfectly crafted. "She's my sister. I want her to be happy. And I want you to fall right into my trap," I add silently. While I play the concerned sister and doting fiancé, the analyst in me is working overtime. My inheritance, my personal savings, every penny that isn't directly tied to Thorn Capital in a way he can touch, I start moving. New accounts, different banks, some offshore, all under names and entities he wouldn't dream of looking for. I create a firewall around my finances so thick, Houdini couldn't get through it. Marcus, blissfully unaware, continues to believe he has access to my safety net. The day I discover their first kiss is a masterpiece of acting, if I do say so myself. I'd known it was coming, of course. I'd even subtly orchestrated the chance encounter at the little bistro Sophia loves. I walk in, all wide-eyed innocence, and there they are, lips locked, Sophia's hand on his chest. The pain I feign is so convincing, I almost believe it myself. Tears, a trembling voice, the whole 9 yards. Marcus, Sophia, how could you? Sophia has the decency to look guilty. Marcus, however, launches into a stuttering explanation about comfort and misunderstandings. Later that night, in a staged, tearful reconciliation with Marcus, where I, of course, forgive him because I'm so understanding, I get what I really want. He's agitated, defensive, and trying to justify his actions. I steer the conversation towards his business, his ambitions, the pressure he's under, and then he says it. He boasts about a particularly clever and entirely illegal way he secured a recent lucrative deal. A deal I now have recorded on my discreetly placed phone. His confession, peppered with Sophia's name and how he's doing all this for their future, is gold. Pure, incriminating gold. Looking back, the old Maya was so weak. Always trying to please everyone. Always putting their needs before her own. My parents, then Marcus, even Sophia. I bent over backwards to be the good daughter, the supportive fiancé, the loving sister, and what did it get me? Betrayal and death. This new Maya is different. She's still polite, still outwardly kind, but underneath there's a core of steel. She's learning to please herself first. A few weeks later, Marcus approaches me, his expression a carefully constructed mix of ambition and feigned vulnerability. Maya, darling, he begins, I have this incredible opportunity to expand the business. A deal that could triple our profits in a year, but I need a little more capital up front. He wants a loan, a significant one. The exact same loan that started my downfall in the first life. My heart gives a small, vicious thrum. It's happening. Oh, Marcus, that sounds wonderful, I say, my voice laced with just the right amount of supportive enthusiasm. Tell me all about it. He launches into his pitch, full of jargon and inflated projections. I listen patiently, nodding, asking seemingly innocent questions that I know will lead him deeper into his own web of lies. When he's finished, he looks at me expectantly, like a puppy waiting for a treat. Of course I'll help you, Marcus, I say softly. The relief on his face is palpable. But, I add, my tone shifting just slightly, we need to do this properly, for your protection and mine. We'll need legal documents, of course, just standard procedure. He hesitates for a fraction of a second, then plasters on a smile. Naturally. Whatever you think is best, my love. He has no idea what I think is best. He has no idea the conditions I'm about to lay down will be the bars of his future cage. The loan agreement is a work of art. Drafted by the sharpest corporate lawyer I could find, it's ironclad. On the surface, it looks like a simple injection of capital from a loving fiancé. Buried in the clauses, however, are stipulations that, upon any default or proven financial impropriety on his part, would transfer a majority controlling interest in Thorn Capital directly to me. Not just my original shares, but enough to make me the undisputed owner. Marcus, in his haste and arrogance, barely skims it, eager to get his hands on the money. Looks fine, Maya, he says, scrawling his signature. The ink is barely dry and I already feel the power shift. Then comes the news I've been anticipating. Sophia's pregnancy. She announces it tearfully, Marcus by her side, looking suitably grave and protective. Maya, we didn't know how to tell you, Sophia sobs, clutching her flat stomach. It just happened. I play my part to perfection. Shock, devastation, betrayal. I let it all wash over my face. I cry. I even throw a soft cushion at Marcus. How could you do this to me? To us? It's a performance worthy of an Oscar, and they buy every second of it. The guilt radiating from them is almost satisfying. Almost. As I watch them from the sidelines, planning their shotgun wedding and their blissful future, a sense of grim satisfaction settles in me. The rain lashes against the windows of my apartment, a fitting soundtrack to their unfolding drama. Marcus, flush with my loan and emboldened by his perceived cleverness, starts making riskier investments. He's always had a gambler's streak, and now, believing he has my endless financial backing, it's spiraling out of control. He's chasing bigger returns, cutting corners, all while whispering sweet nothings to Sophia about the empire he's building for their child. I, of course, am the picture of the heartbroken but forgiving fiancé. To our mutual friends, to our families, I am the wronged woman, magnanimous in my pain. He made a mistake, I say, dabbing at a fake tear. But Sophia is my sister, and there's a baby involved. I just want them to be happy. Sympathy pours in. People praise my strength, my generosity. Little do they know, my generosity is a poisoned chalice. My quiet power moves are subtle but deadly. I have a few well-placed contacts in the financial world, people who owe me favors. Through carefully constructed anonymous tips, I feed Marcus insider information. Tips that sound incredibly promising but are designed to backfire spectacularly. He bites every single time, his greed blinding him to any potential red flags. I watch his portfolio, once a testament to my careful strategies, become a ticking time bomb. The emotional manipulation is almost too easy. I tell Marcus in a quiet, tearful voice that I forgive him, that I'll always care for him, but I understand he has to be with Sophia now. I encourage him to focus on her, on their baby. You deserve to be happy, Marcus, I say, my voice trembling with insincere emotion. He laps it up, relieved that I'm not making things difficult. Then comes the wedding planning. Sophia, in her element, wants the wedding I had planned for myself. The venue, the caterer, even the florist. It's just perfect, Maya, she says, with a hint of apology that doesn't quite reach her eyes. And since you've already done all the groundwork. Of course, Sophia, I reply, my smile serene. Consider it my wedding gift. I graciously step aside, offering to help with the arrangements. I become the indispensable confidant, the supportive sister, all while meticulously ensuring every detail is in place for their grand, fraudulent celebration. A few days before the wedding, a new piece of information falls into my lap. A disgruntled former employee of Thorn Capital, someone Marcus fired unfairly, reaches out to me anonymously. He has evidence, hard evidence. Marcus hasn't just been reckless with his own and my money. He's been systematically embezzling from other clients. Small amounts at first, then larger, bolder thefts. It's more than I could have hoped for. This isn't just about bringing him to financial ruin. This is about bringing him to justice. The wedding day arrives, a beautiful, sunny afternoon. Sophia looks radiant in my dress. Marcus looks smug. I look like the epitome of grace and forgiveness. But as I watch them exchange their vows, I clutch the small, engraved USB drive in my purse. My final card. The one that will burn their carefully constructed world to the ground. The ceremony is about to end, but their nightmare is just beginning. The reception is in full swing. Champagne flows, music plays, and Marcus and Sophia, the happy couple, are basking in the spotlight. I watch them from a quiet corner, the bitter taste of the expensive champagne on my tongue doing little to mask the acrid taste of my impending victory. I'm supposed to give a speech, a testament to my forgiveness and love for my sister and her new husband. I step up to the microphone, my smile deceptively sweet. To Marcus and Sophia, I begin, raising my glass. What can I say about a love like theirs? It's unexpected. It's certainly full of surprises. I pause, letting the subtle insinuation hang in the air. Marcus, you've always been a man who goes after what he wants, regardless of the consequences. And Sophia, well, you've certainly found your match. My words are coated in sugar, but there's a venomous undertone that a few discerning guests pick up on, their smiles faltering slightly. I keep it brief, ending with a wish for their everlasting happiness, a wish I know is about to curdle. The first financial blow lands with the dramatic timing of a perfectly scripted movie. Midway through the best man's toast, Marcus's phone starts buzzing incessantly. He glances at it, his smile freezing. The color drains from his face. One of the sure-thing investments I'd nudged him towards has just imploded. A catastrophic loss, the kind that doesn't just sting, it maims. Sophia, ever attuned to Marcus's moods when money is involved, notices immediately. "What is it, darling?" she whispers, her brow furrowed. He tries to wave it off, but the panic in his eyes is unmistakable. Later, I overhear their hushed, frantic argument near the restrooms. "What do you mean, a significant loss?" Sophia hisses, her voice tight with anxiety. You told me we were set. You promised me. Her dream of effortless luxury is already cracking at the seams. For a fleeting moment, watching her perfectly made up face crumble, I feel a pang of something that might be pity. She's greedy and manipulative, yes, but she's also, in many ways, a fool, easily led by shiny promises. I approach them, my expression one of deep concern. Is everything all right? I ask, my voice soft. You both look so worried. Marcus glares at me. It's nothing, Maya, just business. Well, I say, if there's anything I can do to help, financially, I mean, I'm always here for you both. I offer the lifeline, knowing their pride, especially Marcus's, will never let them take it. Not now, not after everything. We don't need your help, Maya, Marcus snaps, his voice sharper than intended. Sophia shoots him a warning look. His desperation, however, is a rapidly growing beast. In the days following the wedding, he starts making increasingly erratic business decisions. He's chasing losses, trying to recoup the money with even riskier ventures, digging himself into a deeper hole. He's irritable, snapping at Sophia, their newlywed bliss evaporating like mist in the sun. Then, the next blow. A prominent client, one of the ones Marcus had been embezzling from, formally threatens to sue Thorn Capital for fraud. The letter arrives, official and damning. I know because my anonymous source made sure I received a copy. The section cliffhanger. Sophia, stressed and realizing the lavish life Marcus promised is a mirage, misses her period. Then another. She takes a pregnancy test. Negative. She takes another. Negative. The doctor confirms it. There was never a baby. She wasn't pregnant when she told Marcus she was, and she isn't pregnant now. The foundation of their relationship, the catalyst for their union, was a lie. When she finally confesses to Marcus, his reaction isn't understanding or supportive. It's an explosion. The kind that shatters more than just dishes. The idyllic facade of Marcus and Sophia's marriage crumbles with astonishing speed. Their tiny apartment, a stark downgrade from the lavish penthouse Marcus had promised, becomes a battleground. The fights are epic, fueled by financial stress and the gaping wound of Sophia's fake pregnancy. You lied to me! Marcus roars, his voice echoing through the thin walls. Everything was built on your lie. And you lied to me about being some financial genius. Sophia screams back, her voice shrill. We're broke, Marcus! Broke! And it's your fault! Meanwhile, my helpful business suggestions continue to bear fruit-rotten fruit for Marcus. Each tip I feed him, disguised as a friendly gesture from his almost sister-in-law who still cares, leads Thorn Capital further down the path of destruction. Catastrophic investments, failed ventures, clients pulling out in droves. The musty smell of failure begins to cling to Marcus's once prestigious office, a tangible scent of his demise as clients flee his sinking ship. The fraud lawsuit isn't just gaining momentum, it's a runaway train, thanks to the steady stream of evidence I anonymously provide to the plaintiff's lawyers. Emails, bank statements, recordings. Marcus doesn't stand a chance. His reputation is in tatters. Sophia, desperate and seeing her dreams of a wealthy, effortless life turn to dust, tries to crawl back to me. She shows up at my apartment, tears streaming down her face, a picture of contrived remorse. Maya, please, she begs, clutching my arm. You have to help us. He's ruined. We're ruined. I made a mistake, a terrible mistake, but he's still he was almost your husband, and I'm your sister. This is the moment I've been waiting for, the chance to finally unleash years of pent-up resentment. I pull my arm away, my voice cold as ice. Sister, I say, the word dripping with sarcasm. Let me tell you about sister, Sophia. A sister doesn't seduce her sibling's fiancé. A sister doesn't fake a pregnancy to trap a man. A sister doesn't stand by and watch. No, help her family financially destroy the one person who always had her back. I list every betrayal, every childhood slight, every moment she chose herself over me, her voice a low, steady litany of her sins. She flinches with every word, the color draining from her face. You dug this grave, Sophia. Now lie in it. I close the door on her stunned silence. The satisfaction is immense, a dark, warming coal in my chest. While their world implodes, mine is flourishing. My new investment firm, Phoenix Capital, a name I chose with deliberate irony, is rising from the ashes of Marcus's failures. Many of his former clients, disillusioned by his recklessness and impressed by my quiet competence, and perhaps swayed by a few well-placed rumors about my role in his downfall, flocked to me. I'm building something solid, something real, on a foundation of integrity. My next quiet power move is to buy Marcus's debts. Through a series of discrete transactions, I become his primary creditor. He now owes me everything. The irony is delicious. He's trapped. And he doesn't even know the identity of his new financial overlord. The final nail in their immediate coffin is the house. The luxury condo they moved into after the wedding, the one Sophia flaunted on social media, is foreclosed. They're evicted, forced to move into a cramped, dingy apartment in a less than savory part of town. The shame is a palpable thing, clinging to them like cheap cologne. One evening, my phone rings. It's Marcus. His voice is strained, laced with a desperation that is music to my ears. "Someone's been sabotaging me, Maya," he says, his voice low and accusatory. "Every move I make, it's like they know what I'm going to do before I do. It's like they're one step ahead, pushing me towards failure." I feign surprise. "Sabotage, Marcus? That sounds serious. Who would do such a thing?" There's a pause, then, "I think it's you." He doesn't have proof, not yet, but the suspicion is there, gnawing at him. He confronts me, not with anger, but with a desperate last-ditch plan. He wants to merge what's left of Thorn Capital with Phoenix Capital. He wants me to save him. The audacity is breathtaking. The trap is almost set. "You, Maya, it has to be you," Marcus says, his voice a ragged whisper over the phone. He's not shouting, not accusing in his usual blustery way. This is different. This is the sound of a man crumbling from the inside out. "You're the only one smart enough, the only one who knew enough." I let out a sigh, a carefully crafted sound of weary innocence. "Marcus, that's a terrible thing to say. Why would I do that? After everything, I still care about you both. I wouldn't kick you when you're down." My denial is smooth, practiced. I can almost feel his uncertainty, his desperate desire to believe me, warring with the cold, hard facts of his ruin. We meet at a neutral coffee shop, his choice. He looks terrible. Dark circles under his eyes. His expensive suit rumpled. The scent of desperation clinging to him, sharp and acrid. It's a far cry from the confident, arrogant man I almost married. He reiterates his suspicions, laying out the timeline of his downfall, the uncanny precision of his failed investments. "It's like you had a crystal ball," he mutters, staring into his lukewarm coffee. "Or maybe," I say gently, "you just made some bad decisions, Marcus. It happens. The market is volatile." I'm playing innocent, but my eyes, I know, hold a flicker of something else. Something that confirms his worst fears. And then, the moment I've been waiting for, the reveal. "You want to know how I knew?" I lean forward, my voice dropping to a conspiratorial whisper. "Because you told me, Marcus." I pull out my phone, tap the screen, and play the recording. His voice boasting to Sophia about his illegal deals, his plans to use my money, his casual dismissal of my intelligence. The color drains from his face. He looks like he's been punched in the gut. "How?" he stammers. "You should be more careful about what you say and who's listening," I say, my smile devoid of warmth. That, Marcus, is just one piece of the puzzle. News of his complete financial ruin and the mounting evidence of fraud must have reached Sophia with full force. The stress, the shame, the constant fighting, it all takes its toll. I hear through the grapevine that she's had a nervous breakdown. A small, ugly part of me feels a twinge of satisfaction. But then, a deeper, more complex emotion surfaces. Pity. Genuine sorrow for the wreck she's become. She's my sister, after all, and no matter how much she's hurt me, seeing her suffer like this, it's not the victory I imagined. Revenge is a bitter dish indeed. Marcus, now fully aware of my role in his demise, is a cornered animal. I lay out my ultimatum. "You have two choices, Marcus," I tell him, my voice calm and steady. "Choice one, I hand over all this evidence to the authorities. You'll go to prison for a very long time. Embezzlement, fraud, they'll throw the book at you. I pause, letting the words sink in. Choice 2. You and Sophia disappear. Leave the city, leave the country, I don't care. Start over somewhere no one knows you. I give you a small amount of cash, enough to get you started, and this all goes away. Exile or prison, his choice. He tries one final desperate gambit, blackmail. He produces a folder, his hands trembling slightly. I have things on you too, Maya, he says, his voice hoarse. Fabricated evidence, things that will make you look bad, ruin your new firm. I almost laugh. He's so predictable. I calmly slide my own phone across the table, already recording. Are you trying to blackmail me, Marcus? After everything? Because I think the authorities would be very interested to hear that. His bluff crumbles. He stares at the phone, then at me, defeated. As if on cue, the cafe doors open, and 2 uniformed police officers walk in, heading straight for our table. I'd made an anonymous tip before our meeting, just in case. Marcus Thorne, one of them asks, you're under arrest for multiple counts of embezzlement and financial fraud. He doesn't resist. He just sags in his chair as they handcuff him. As they lead him away, Sophia appears, drawn by the commotion, or perhaps by some desperate last-ditch hope. She sees Marcus in handcuffs, her face a mask of horror and despair. Her eyes meet mine, and in them I see a frantic, desperate plea. Maya, please, she mouths, tears streaming down her face. My revenge is almost complete. Marcus is on his way to jail. Sophia's broken. Thorn Capital is defunct. Phoenix Capital is soaring. I hold all the cards. And now I have to decide just how complete this victory needs to be. Do I show mercy to my broken sister? Or do I let her fall just as far as Marcus? The choice is mine. The image of Marcus being led away in handcuffs is seared into my memory. Sophia stands there, helpless, watching her world disintegrate. There's no triumph in me, just a hollow echo where the burning rage used to be. This isn't the sweet victory I'd fantasized about during those first agonizing days of my second life. It's just an ending. A messy, painful ending to a chapter I'm desperate to close. My decision regarding Sophia comes quickly. I can't forgive her, not yet, maybe not ever. The wounds are too deep, the betrayals too numerous. But I can offer her a sliver of mercy, a chance to escape the wreckage of the life she co-created. I arrange for a one-way ticket for her, to a small town across the country where no one knows her name. I deposit a modest sum into a new bank account for her, enough for a few months' rent and a chance to find some kind of work. A fresh start, Sophia, I tell her, my voice devoid of emotion when I hand her the envelope. Don't waste it. She takes it, her hands trembling, her eyes downcast, and leaves without a word, whether it's out of shame or resentment. I don't know, and frankly, I don't care. The silence in my apartment, once my sanctuary, now feels vast and empty. For years, my life has been defined by their chaos, their drama, their betrayals. Now it's just quiet. The quiet is unsettling at first, then gradually it becomes peaceful. Phoenix Capital officially launches a few weeks later. The opening party is a muted affair, more a gathering of trusted colleagues and grateful clients than a lavish celebration. Many of Marcus's former partners, men and women of integrity who were equally blindsided by his deceptions, have joined me. We're building something strong, something based on trust and transparency. It feels good, solid. I realize that revenge, while necessary for my own healing, isn't fulfilling in itself. It was a means to an end, a way to reclaim my power, my life. But it's not the foundation upon which I want to build my future. A few months later, I visit Marcus in prison. I need to see him to close this chapter fully for myself. He's aged years in just a few months. The arrogance is gone, replaced by a weary resignation. He looks small, insignificant in his prison grays. Maya, he says, his voice raspy. I don't know what to say. There's nothing to say, Marcus, I reply, my voice even. I was a fool, he continues, staring at his hands. A greedy, arrogant fool. I had everything with you and I threw it all away. For what? For her. For money I didn't even know how to manage. He finally seems to understand the magnitude of what he lost, not just the money and the business, but me. Can you can you ever forgive me? He asks, his eyes pleading. I look at him, this man I once loved, this man who almost destroyed me, and I feel nothing. No anger, no pain, just a vast emptiness where he used to be. No, Marcus, I say softly. I can't. But I'm not going to carry this hatred for you anymore. I'm erasing you from my life, completely. You'll serve your time, and then you'll be a ghost to me. I stand up and walk away, not looking back. That, I realize, is my true quiet power move, not the destruction, but the letting go. Life begins to take on new colors. I focus on my work, on building Phoenix Capital into a firm known for its integrity and success. And then, unexpectedly, I meet someone. Liam. He's an architect, kind, intelligent, with a quiet strength that mirrors my own. He knows my story, or at least the publicly known parts of it. He doesn't pity me, he admires my resilience. He makes me laugh, something I haven't done freely in years. It's slow, cautious, this new dance of affection, but it feels real. I look in the mirror one day and realize I'm smiling. Genuinely smiling. I've become someone I actually like, someone I respect. The old Maya, the victim, is gone. This new Maya, the survivor, the architect of her own life, is here to stay. Then, a letter arrives. The postmark is from that small town across the country. It's from Sophia. My first instinct is to throw it away, unopened. But curiosity, or perhaps some lingering, deeply buried familial tie, makes me pause. With a sigh, I tear it open. The contents are brief, just a few lines. But the news they contain is shocking. So shocking, it threatens to pull me right back into the vortex of family drama I thought I'd escaped. It's news that could change everything again. Sophia's letter isn't a plea for money or forgiveness, as I'd half expected. It's a confession, but not her own. She writes that she was also a pawn, manipulated by someone much closer to us, someone I never would have suspected. Our mother. The words blur. Mom put me up to it, Maya, so much of it, the debts, the loneliness, even encouraging me with Marcus. She said it was for the family. A cold dread washes over me. Our mother? The stoic, seemingly upright woman who always preached about honesty and hard work? It seems impossible. I arrange to meet Sophia. She's hesitant but agrees. She looks healthier, less haunted, but still fragile. Over lukewarm coffee in a sterile diner, she spills the rest. Our mother, it turns out, had her own secrets. The family business, a small textile company our father left her, was failing. She'd made bad investments, incurred huge debts, and was facing ruin. She saw Marcus, with his burgeoning firm, built by me, ironically, as a lifeline. The familiar scent of our mother's jasmine perfume seems to fill the air around me as Sophia talks, a phantom reminder of 1,000 childhood hugs, now tainted. Mom had pressured Sophia, playing on her insecurities, her desire for a comfortable life, convincing her that seducing Marcus was the only way to save them all. Sophia, weak-willed and easily led, had complied. The fake pregnancy was her own desperate addition, a way to secure Marcus when she felt him slipping. I confront our mother. She doesn't deny it. The confession tumbles out, a torrent of fear and justification. I did it for us, Maya, to protect our legacy. You were always so independent, so successful on your own. Sophia needed a safety net, and Marcus, he had resources. An emotion I can't quite name churns within me. It's not just anger, it's a profound sense of disillusionment. I wasn't just betrayed by my fiancé and my sister. I was a sacrificial lamb for a family legacy I knew little about, a legacy built on secrets and manipulation. The realization is staggering. I wasn't the only victim in this twisted family drama. Sophia, in her own way, was one too. It's a complex tangle of feelings. Do I forgive Sophia now, knowing she was partly a puppet? Do I try to understand my mother's desperation? Or do I maintain the hard-won boundaries I've built? The old Maya would have tried to fix it, to absorb everyone's pain. The new Maya knows that some things can't be fixed, only acknowledged. My quiet power move this time is internal. I use this devastating information not to seek further revenge, but to liberate myself completely. I sever the toxic financial and emotional ties to my mother, making it clear that I will not be her safety net, nor will I be a pawn in her games any longer. It's a painful, gut-wrenching decision, but a necessary one for my own survival. Life throws another curveball. Marcus is released on parole. He served a fraction of his sentence. Good behavior, apparently. He tries to approach me. A tentative email first, then a call. He sounds humbled, changed. He talks about wanting to make amends, to live a better life. He and Sophia, who has also returned to the city, approach me together. They look like chastened children. They offer to return what they can, a symbolic gesture more than anything, as most of the money is long gone. We know we can never truly repay you, Maya, Marcus says, his voice quiet. But we want to try. Sophia nods, her eyes filled with a sorrow that looks genuine this time. It's the ultimate test. Do I accept their repentance? Allow them back into my life, even on the fringes? Or do I walk away forever, closing the door on my past completely? The choice hangs heavy in the air, another turning point in a life that's had too many. Standing there facing Marcus and Sophia, I see not monsters, but two deeply flawed human beings who caused irreparable damage. The desire for vengeance has long since faded, replaced by a weary understanding. I appreciate the gesture, I tell them, my voice calm, devoid of the ice it once held. But there's nothing to repay that can fix what was broken. My final choice is this. I forgive them, not for their sake, but for mine. Holding on to that bitterness is like drinking poison and expecting them to die. But forgiveness does not mean reconciliation. I forgive you both, I say, and the words feel surprisingly light. But I'm choosing to move on without you in my life. I wish you both peace. I turn and walk away, this time for good. No dramatic exit, just a quiet severing of the final threads. Marcus, I hear later, struggles. He tries to find work in finance, but his reputation precedes him. He's forced to take menial jobs, a harsh reality check for the man who once thought he ruled the world. He's rebuilding, slowly, painfully, from absolute zero. There's no help from me, no backdoor into Phoenix Capital. He's on his own. Sophia, surprisingly, seems to find her footing faster. Maybe hitting rock bottom was the catalyst she needed. She takes responsibility for her actions, gets therapy, and starts a small online business, something entirely her own. She doesn't try to contact me again, respecting the boundary I've drawn. There's a quiet dignity in her efforts that I never saw before. I take a vacation, alone. The fresh scent of ocean air fills my lungs as I walk along a deserted beach. The vastness of the sea, the endless horizon. It's a balm to my soul. I'm Maya Lin, but not the Maya Lin who was defined by betrayal, by loss, by revenge. I'm someone new, someone forged in fire, stronger, wiser. Phoenix Capital becomes one of the most respected investment firms in the city, not just for its success, but for its ethical practices. My professional life is thriving. My personal life with Liam is a quiet joy. Our relationship is built on equality, mutual respect, and a deep, unwavering trust. He knows the full story now, all the ugly parts, and his love for me hasn't wavered. If anything, it's deepened. I realize I'm genuinely happy. Not a fleeting, conditional happiness, but a deep, abiding contentment. The kind that settles in your bones and warms you from the inside out. It's a happiness I've earned. My quiet power move, the final one, is to establish a foundation, the Phoenix Foundation. Its mission, to help other victims of financial and emotional betrayal, to offer them legal aid, counseling, and the resources to rebuild their lives, to show them that even from the deepest ashes, they too can rise. A year later, Liam proposes. It's not a grand public spectacle, but a quiet, heartfelt moment. Just the two of us. And this time, the yes that escapes my lips is full of joy, unburdened by doubt or fear. We decide to get married at the same venue where my life almost ended, and then began anew. Not out of some morbid desire to rewrite the past, but as a symbol. a symbol of how far I've come. As I walk down the aisle, this time in my true wedding dress, a gown that feels like me, towards Liam, his eyes shining with love, I see the white lilies, thousands of them. But this time, their scent isn't nauseating. It's just beautiful, a fragrance of hope, of new beginnings. My rebirth is complete. I'm stronger, wiser, and finally, truly free. The pain is a scar now, a reminder of battles fought and won, but it no longer defines me. I am Maya Lin, and I chose myself, first and always, and that I realize is the greatest victory of all.